Speaking of things I don't find productive, I don't find it productive when Republicans try to argue that we need to kowtow to Russia. I don't like that. I don't think that's a smart thing to do. But apparently, that's something that Vivek Ramaswamy... Ramaswamy? I've never actually heard the name said. I've only ever read it. So I don't have much more I can give you besides that. If somebody wants to tell me how to pronounce that name better, then that's... let me know in the comment section below. That'll help. Said right into a topic. Okay, yeah, basically, right into a topic. Because we need to talk about a particular Republican who wants to give Putin everything. Why? I don't know. Maybe he thinks that in a fight with Russia, we would lose. Let's go ahead and take a look at this after we take a look at the fan art section. This first piece of fan art we have here is honestly really, really good. This comes from a watcher of Sunset City, actually, Soniku. Since I drew Suris a few days ago as daily exercise, since I appreciated getting the chance to hang out during the last post-show. Also a fun character to draw. They said, thanks. I said this looked fantastic over on Sunset City. And they said, thanks. I like trying to piece together your outfit from whatever I could find on Google. Surprisingly, a good character to study. Ha! Well, thank you very much, Soniku. I greatly appreciate it. The next one we have here is from Axo That Has Cream. Made a sketch, but I ran out of time because I was drawing with a mouse. And the next one we have is also from Axo. Made a little doodle because I wanted to draw the beach model, and I couldn't think of an idea, but then suddenly... Castaways, we are castaways. As always, everybody, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. With that said, like, subscribe, all that other fun call to action-y stuff YouTube makes me do as part of my job. Otherwise, my numbers are bad and YouTube will give me the whip. Anyway, let's go ahead and get right into dissing. Vivek Ramaswamy wants to give Putin whatever he wants in Ukraine. Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy has a reckless plan for achieving U.S. global dominance, giving away another country's territory. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Ramaswamy is already under fire for his objectively terrible plan to let China invade Taiwan after 2028 if he were elected. Now the presidential hopeful thinks that Russia should be allowed to keep the parts of Ukraine that it currently occupies. So the parts that it's taken there, and I guess that would also extend to Crimea? Huh. Why? Why? Do you think that Russia will stop there? Do you think letting an empire push its borders is a good thing? Do you remember the last one that tried that? We did not see the ending coming. Our goal should not be for Putin to lose. Our goal should be for America to win, Ramaswamy told CNN Thursday night. America wins if Putin loses. Ramaswamy said the U.S. involvement in Ukraine is strengthening the Russia-China military alliance, and the only way to break that alliance and bring Russia around to the American side is to give Putin whatever he wants. My God. Is the Republican strategy now just abject weakness? Is that the thing they need? Is that the thing they need to do? Do you just have to show weakness and simping for evil? Is that what you gotta do? Okay. Okay. He said, I would freeze the current lines of control, and that would leave parts of the Donbass region with Russia. I would also further make a commitment that NATO will not admit Ukraine into NATO, but there are even greater wins that I will get for the United States. How are those wins? How is that a win? How is destroying our ability to have good alliances with our allies when the entire world, for the most part, is against Russia? Is it just because Russia and China are large? They are two of the largest nations in the world, but like, do we have to kowtow to them? What happens when we're next? Is his plan just... I guess his plan is to just make a new axis that has the United States and Russia and China at the top of the food chain, and everybody else can just eat shit. I don't like how my country operates, I don't like how Russia operates, and I especially don't like how China operates. So I don't think that's a sound plan. Not if we like, you know, avoiding human rights violations. Ramaswamy seems to be under multiple false impressions with his diplomatic plan. The first being that the United States has the authority to simply give away parts of another sovereign nation. He also appears to believe that if he visits Moscow, he can single-handedly buddy up to Putin enough to convince the Russian leader to drop a highly advantageous military alliance. And, as anchor Jim Acosta rightly pointed out, Putin is unlikely to stop with Ukraine. Yeah, that's kind of something we pointed out here as well. He wasn't satisfied with annexing Crimea in 2014, and now he wants all of Ukraine. If he's allowed to keep parts of Ukraine, it's possible that he will try to invade somewhere else, such as Poland, which is a NATO member, which then would require military intervention from the rest of the NATO members. But that would, of course, mean that Russia has a stronger military position when they invade a NATO nation. Should we just let them get stronger before everybody has to come down on them and we all die in a nuclear apocalypse? So the plan is just as bad as Ramaswamy's strategy for Taiwan. Earlier this week, he proposed letting China take over Taiwan after 2028, which he believes is when the U.S. would build up its own supply of semiconductors. Taiwan produces about 60% of the global supply of semiconductors, which are microchips crucial to making all electronic devices. Wait a minute. Is he seeing this all as a business venture? The minute that a country is no longer as useful to us as they were in the past, then we just cut all of our ties with them. We just feed them to the wolves. Yes, we will support you while you make the semiconductors, but as soon as you stop making them, we're going to go ahead and kick you to the curb. That's like a parent enjoying their child for the amount of time that they're able to do the dishes, but then the minute they become disabled and can't do it anymore, they just kick them out on the curb. Like, we would see that as insane behavior, but apparently when Republicans do it, no. Ramaswamy said he intends to dramatically up the firepower around Taiwan doing it during his first term, to make clear to Beijing that they should not mess with the island until the United States has semiconductor independence. Jesus fucking Christ. After that, China can do whatever it wants. It doesn't seem to occur to him that China would likely interpret these moves as an act of aggression and respond in kind. Nor does he seem to realize that it's highly unlikely that China would listen to this proposed arrangement. But despite his only campaign points being battling wokeness and taking away rights, and apparently allowing authoritarian governments to do whatever they want, he's somehow rising in the polls. I need to see the comments on this one. I have to. Ramaswamy should try this strategy for the motherland, India. China had annexed certain portions of India, and in an incident from 2021, India has been trying to get the land back. According to Ramaswamy, China should be able to keep it. If China wanted a bigger piece of India, would Rama allow this to happen? Someone asked him. I wonder if he would feel the same if a presidential candidate would make those statements about India. Everybody's just pointing out India. Should we point out that China's been doing the Uyghur genocide? Is that a thing we should point out to him? Or maybe he likes that. Maybe genocide gets him off. He said that U.S. involvement in Ukraine is strengthening the Russia-China military alliance, and the only way to break that alliance is to bring Russia around to American sides. Does that sound familiar? Like 4 years ago? Yeah, that's basically what Trump tried to do, where he took us out of, like, most of our alliances with nations that weren't batshit insane, and tried to strengthen our alliances with the ones that wanted fascism? Okay, sure. Oh yeah, because appeasement, this is literally what he's suggesting, has always worked so well throughout history. Actually, I'm being facetious, because it almost never works. If there were odds on the likelihood of appeasement working the way he would suggest it would probably be something like 1,000 to 1 odds. Have these MAGA Republicans not learned from history? Appeasing to a dictator might provide short-term stability, but it also emboldens the dictators to demand more and more. We blew it allowing Putin to take Crimea. That was when a forceful rebuke would have been making more sense. Instead, he started a war in eastern Ukraine before his full-scale invasion last year. The Putins of the world prey on weakness. They also tend to retreat when someone punches back. Ukraine's defense is making Putin look bad. Another year or two of this, assuming Ukraine can withstand the loss of fighting-aged men, will force Putin to retreat. I don't know if that's necessarily the case given size alone, But Russia has not been able to take Ukraine. Like, the global assistance of Ukraine has made it impossible for Russia to actually win there as of right now. So I feel like trying to argue that actually, no, we need to revoke the protections that we offer nations in the little amount that we do, it's stupid. It's a stupid idea. Supporting dictators is a bad idea, and maybe we should remind Republicans of that. Maybe, you know, at the polls. In droves. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you haven't already. And as always, everyone, insert end of video tagline here.